Hello, and welcome to Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we use German missions from the game Firefight to illustrate World War II German tactics at the company level and below. In this campaign, we are playing through Operation Barbarossa as the Germans, with 9 battles over the course of June and July 1941. In this episode, Barbarossa Tractor Factory, the German invasion of Russia has begun, and waves of armour and infantry are flooding across the border. Tractor Factory number 7 lies on the banks of a slow-moving river and consists of a variety of industrial units. In each battle, we conduct basic mission analysis, develop and analyse possible courses of action, then decide and execute the plan in real time, followed by lessons learned. Please remember to like the video, comment and subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. And if you want to show your support with a donation, the links are in the description. This is a map of the battle space, overlain with terrain features in red. If you are interested, these maps are available in the game folder. Moving counterclockwise from the top. The main factory complex, including the assembly hall, is to the north. The West Road links the main factory complex to the railway station, where raw materials are offloaded and finished tractors loaded. Raw materials are stored in a series of smaller industrial buildings to the south. These are separated from the main road by a wooded hill. Finally, the river road runs south to north parallel to the slow-moving river. This whole area is complex terrain, in which the ranges of weapon systems are much longer than the ranges at which targets can be observed. This generally means short-range engagements favouring infantry in defence, although the roads offer long sight lines, making good fire lanes for tanks and anti-tank guns. Each of the industrial buildings offers both cover and concealment, making good ambush locations, again favouring infantry in the defence. The wooded hill would also make a good ambush site covering the main road and river road. The buildings and the wooded areas are all obstacles to movement. Progress through this industrial complex is likely to be slow going. This constrains vehicle movement to 3 main avenues of attack from the south: along West Road, along Main Road, and along River Road. 3 areas of key terrain can cover these avenues of attack, as well as blocking any infantry advance to the north. First, the L-shaped wooded rise next to West Road with a number of industrial storage sheds behind it. Second, the wooded hill covering Main Road and the adjacent buildings. And third, a small hillock next to the river, covering the River Road. Finally, the Tractor Factory main complex is also key terrain. Reconnaissance tells me to expect a Soviet infantry platoon consisting of 3 infantry squads with machine gun and mortar detachments. It is likely they are reinforced with anti-tank guns and multiple light tanks. The Soviets could adopt a 2-up, 1-back defence with alternate positions marked in dotted lines. 2 infantry squads could start out in the wooded areas to the south to identify advancing armour and attack advancing infantry to cause delay and inflict casualties. Under pressure, they could withdraw into successive defensive lines amongst the industrial buildings, covered by fire from the 3rd squad and a medium machine gun, both of which could also withdraw, and from a mortar to the rear. All 3 squads could eventually withdraw into a strong defensive position in the main factory complex. The anti-tank guns could exploit the long sight lines by positioning to look down the roads. 1 or more tanks could cover the River Road and Main Road from the high ground on the hillock adjacent to the river, with a withdrawal route to the north to support the final defensive position. Under my command is a German Panzergrenadier company. The tank platoon consists of a pair of light Panzer 35T, a Panzer 38T, and a Panzer III. 3 Sturmgeschütz are reportedly on the way from battalion headquarters. The infantry platoon contains 3 infantry squads. And support platoon consists of a Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251x1 Ausführung B, an anti-tank rifle, and a medium mortar. I also have on-call artillery with high explosive and smoke rounds. One option is a frontal assault. For example, the Germans would start at the south and work their way north through each of the buildings. The intention would be to force the Soviets to withdraw to their next defensive position. The Germans would use indirect fire from the mortar to help the Soviets make up their minds to move. The Panzers would occupy a fire support position on the high ground north of the railway station and overlooking the objective. They would put flanking fire on the Soviets as they withdraw. Alternatively, the Germans could adopt a similar plan, but with the attack shifted to the west along West Road or to the east along Main Road. But this plan would rely on the Germans getting local fire superiority over each Soviet squad in turn. In essence, I have a single infantry platoon with supporting elements that must dislodge from complex defensive terrain an enemy infantry platoon of similar size with similar supporting elements. This means poor force ratios. So, this seems like hard work and kind of dangerous. I wonder if there is an easier way. In an infantry battle like this, I will often use the panzers as close fire support to the infantry. But German doctrine recommends they are better used for surprise employment and shock action. So, the infantry platoon and support platoon will occupy a defensive position in the southeast, presenting the Soviets with a hard shoulder, protecting the panzer's assembly area. The panzer platoon will lead this attack. Moving from an assembly area in the southeast, they will strike up the river road. They will advance to a forming up point east of the objective, then cross the line of departure heading due west and capture the objective. The surprise employment of the panzers will come from their rapid movement along an unexpected axis. The shock action will come from their seizure of the objective using tanks instead of infantry. This will force the Soviets to react to my plan and fight me on ground of my choosing instead of ground of their choosing. The Soviets will face a choice: give up and surrender, or leave their carefully prepared defences and move out in the open to contest my control of the objective. While moving in the open, they are vulnerable, and I will target them with guns, machine guns, mortars, and artillery. As the Soviets withdraw, German infantry will move up and take the factory from the surprised and shocked Soviet forces without a grinding urban fight. Conduct of riflemen in the presence of enemy tanks. One must count at all times on the possible employment of tanks. The tank's effect upon the morale of troops is accomplished by surprise employment and shock action.
Achtung!
This is Tractor Factory number 7. The objective is the northern end of the factory. Let's review our forces using the information panel on the bottom right of the screen. This shows soldier statistics and vehicle controls. Unit 1 is an infantry section. It is equipped with MP40 submachine guns, Carabiner 98K rifles, steel Handgranate, and an MG34 machine gun. It is commanded by Lieutenant Graf. Unit 2 is an infantry section. It is commanded by Lieutenant Franz. Unit 3 is an infantry section. It is commanded by Unteroffizier Ritter. Unit 4 is an anti-tank rifle team. It is equipped with a Panzerbuchs 39 anti-tank rifle. It is commanded by Unteroffizier Bergmann. Unit 5 is a medium mortar team. It is equipped with an 8cm Granatwerfer 34 and 60 rounds. It is commanded by Grenadier Kunz. Unit 6 is a Panzer 35T. It is equipped with a 3.7cm Kampfwagenkanon 34 L40 gun and MG37T machine guns. It is commanded by Lieutenant Heller. Unit 7 is a Panzer 35T. It is equipped with a 3.7cm Kampfwagenkanon 34 L40 gun and MG37T machine guns. The Ts indicate Czech manufacture. It is commanded by Lieutenant Lang. Unit 8 is a Panzer 38T Ausführung C. It is equipped with a 3.7 cm Kampfwagenkanon 38 L47.8 gun and MG37T machine guns. It is commanded by Lieutenant Schiller. Unit 9 is a Panzer III Ausführung F. It is equipped with a 3.7 cm Kampfwagenkanon 36 L45 gun and MG34 machine guns. It is commanded by Lieutenant Thomas. Unit 10 is a Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251x1 Ausführung B. It is equipped with an MG34 machine gun. It is commanded by Lieutenant Binder. Now, let's position the troops for battle. The infantry platoon will maintain a defensive position in the woods to the southeast. Support platoon will occupy the depth position of the infantry platoon. The Panzer platoon will form up on the river road facing north. Finally, the Panzergrenadier Company has on-call artillery, 16 rounds of high explosive and 16 rounds of smoke. And so we begin. The Panzergrenadier Company pauses at first to see if any Soviet troops reveal themselves. Panzer platoon bounds up the river road behind the storage tanks. No sign of the Soviets. Panzer platoon makes its second bound. Still no sign of the Soviets. Panzer platoon now moves into the forming up point.
Feindkontakt, Brenngranate laden. Feuer! Feindkontakt.
Lieutenant Thomas's Panzer III destroys a 45mm anti-tank gun by HE shell. The Panzer 35s put suppressing fire on the Soviet medium mortar. The mortar crew are all killed. The Panzers now advance into the forming up point. The Panzers cross the line of departure towards the objective.
Ziel erobert.
And capture the objective. With the Panzers sitting on the objective, they control Tractor Factory number 7 by fire. Soviet infantry and tanks will need to move quickly to counter this bold thrust, but will be exposed in the open. And time is running out. Victory! Barbarossa. The German invasion of Russia has begun, and waves of armour and infantry are flooding across the border. German forces: 56 survived, 0 wounded, 0 killed, 0 vehicles lost. Soviet forces: 49 survived, 3 wounded, 4 killed, 1 anti-tank gun lost, and their medium mortar. And of course, Tractor Factory number 7. You did exceptionally well in quickly capturing the objective and took negligible losses despite being up against fairly strong opposition. Your commanders rate your performance as superb. 3 gold stars. So, what did we learn? 2 things. First, while I often use tanks as close fire support to the infantry, German doctrine recommends they are better used for surprise employment and shock action. The surprise employment of the panzers had them moving quickly up the river road, attacking from an unexpected direction and continuing to advance when in contact with the enemy. The panzers moved faster and from a different direction than the enemy expected. The panzers generated shock action by overrunning the anti-tank gun and medium mortar and seizing the objective all before the Soviets knew what was happening and before the Soviets could react. The Soviets did not fire a single shot all battle. Second, the difference between attrition and manoeuvre. Attrition pits one force against another, both sides fight and take casualties, until the weaker side runs out of combat power. By contrast, manoeuvre seeks to win by fire and movement, moving friendly forces into a position of advantage to dominate the area with firepower, making the enemy's defeat inevitable. And in this case, quick, brutal, and effective. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for the next episode.